Welcome, WMTC Cyber Seminary Leadership Development, Lesson 1, Section 6. Strategically Planning. Strategically Planning, Lesson 6. The failure or plan is the plan toward failure. Okay? The failure or plan is the plan toward failure. Interesting topic. Second Chronicle chapter 1:10, give me wisdom and the knowledge that I may lead these people, for who is able to govern this great the people of yours. The key to a good plan, the key to a good plan is to focus. Solomon asked the Lord for wisdom to lead God's people, not for his own glory or for great wealth. Solomon showed that the key, the aspect of the leadership, is to know where you are going before you ask people to follow you. If your personal and the group mission is clear, the way to accomplish it will naturally become clear. In all the great human and the endeavor, the element of God and the leadership are involved. God gives us the mission and requires as a leader to have a plan within our own spheres. Mission accomplished. Do I fully aware of my mission? You check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you're fully aware, 5. Not. No, it's a 1. So you check up by yourself. Do I fully aware of my ability? Do I fully aware of the power of my team? Do I have an open channel to receive a continuous assessment? Do I have this information to adjust and change when I need it? So why is the calling is important? Tell the direction of the ministry, organize the function of the ministry is clearly. So first, tell the direction of your ministry, and then organize the function of the ministry. This is the reason why the calling is important, because it focuses on the future of ministry. It provides us guidance for decision making, advocates the work to the unions, and then it gives us the refined the strategy. Increase the effectiveness of ministry, and it gives us you the power to support this organization. Make easy the evaluation. So now a question. What is my mission? What is your calling? Please answer by yourself or discuss. What are obstacles to achieve its mission? Do you have anything obstacle you to achieve your mission? Example of the Bible about the plan, Yahweh's plan. Isaiah 37:26. Have you not heard? Long ago I ordained it in days of the old I planned it. Now I have brought it to pass. That you have turned the fortified city into piles of stones. Now there are Noah's plan and Nehemiah's plan and David's plans. Genesis and 2 Samuel. 자, 노아 they received a clear revelation from God to build an ark. God gave Noah a specific method how to build, and Noah faithfully carried out the long-term plan. Noah is completed the ark in 120 years, just as God had told him. The ark was built well enough to withstand the torrential rain of 40 days, well enough to withstand. Okay, and it floated for a full year until the flood stopped and the water receded, according to Genesis chapter 7 to 9. How about Nehemiah's the plans? Nehemiah's long-term plan was to see the fallen wall of Jerusalem rebuilt. He envisioned the rebuilding of the fallen wall and began to plan the rebuilding. Each household was given a portion. Each house, okay? Each house, just the front of the house, was given a portion to rebuild the fallen wall. So the rebuilding was completed in 52 days. Nehemiah's plan, the task is well organized. It's strategically well organized. And David's also long-term plan was to build the temple of God, and God did not allow David to build the temple because he was engaged in many wars. However, when the Solomon became his successor, David passed on his plan to build the temple of God to Solomon and told him about the building material. After 7 years of the construction, the temple was complete, and David's long-term plan was fulfilled through his son Solomon. How about Jesus' the plan through parables? In the wise and the foolish architect, in Matthew chapter 7, an architect who is calculating the cost. Luke chapter 14, and the king ready for battle. Luke chapter 14. An unjust steward. Luke chapter 16. So this is just a plan through the parable. You by yourself and the research and also discuss with the groups or in your church. And we easily overlook the fact that Jesus spoke of the need for planning and strategic. Jesus used the two parables in illustrate the folly of neglecting the planning, and the parable of the wise and the foolish, the builder, the Matthew chapter 7, and the parable of the builder, the estimating cost, and then parable of the king, the prepared for battle, and then prepare a parable of the unjust steward. How about this? Look at this picture. This is a changing future. Changing future. There is the curve. This is we call the growth, the curve. Okay, look at number A and B. This is a growth curve. Okay, growth curve. This is by Charles Handy. It must change before drawing down curve. It's a grow before downward curve. The prepare change A point. Okay, here. So this is from A to B. Before here, point B, before down, you must prepare. Okay, prepare change in here, in A point, before B, and then you can grow. So Handy writes that most organizational growth looks like the picture on the right. The growth curve rises sharply at the point A, and then create the certain peak before it began to decline at the point B. So leader needed to understand this and be able to make a change before the decline. Before the decline begin. In other words, they need to be prepared for change at the point A. Okay? The predicting change and time over chaos. So maybe at the point B, you can understand, you can predict the change and the time of chaos. So when change begin at the point A, a follower will misunderstand what the leader is doing. Change often occur in such an unstable state that it is difficult to hide the confusion or the bewilderment. When change occurs, it is called a time of chaos. A time of chaos. So the part highlighted in the cross hatching at this point. So from chaos to prosperity. From chaos also prosperity, another step. So because of the rapid change in the organization, leader must constantly plan, evaluate, and create healthy change. Follower will feel anxious as if they are in a type of constant chaos. Great leader and the organization must learn how to make this happen. So how to apply? Leaders should help people who follow the leader to get the early preparation type of chaos in the planning process in the long term. Leaders must continually to know what will happen in advance of the plan is executed to those who follow him. Make people involved in the planning as well as to have the absence of the ownership on the part they undertaken. To get the trust of the people by encouraging them who are troubled the time of chaos. There are 5 region effective strategies. It fulfills its mission and vision. 5 region effective strategy. Okay, it fulfills its mission and vision, and it facilitates the understanding, and it provides us a sense of spiritual strength and the investment of God's resource appropriately. It reveals that God gives us a blessing. In order, the order of an effective strategic plan. Plan, time for the plan. Plan, time for the plan. A common mistake of churches that makes it not following this step. Okay? The planning process should be scheduled so that time and energy are allocated to the weekly schedule. Everybody agrees that the strategic planning is important, but when planning takes a long time, we sometimes feel like it is the waste of time. However, the opposite is true. Consider that chart below. When we have done little planning, we spend more time dealing with unexpected events and changes. However, while it may feel unproductive to spend a significant amount of time planning. It actually saves us time in the overall work. The chart below is not the scientific formula, but it does show what happens when we plan before we execute. This is portion of work and plan. Okay? So how many percent? Maybe 20% or 80% or half. So we think about this. Which one is the best? Plan or practice? Plan and practice. Time and which one is the more effective? So think about it by yourself and then make it by yourself. Maybe 30 or 20 or 30% the plan and the rest you may practice. If 50-50 is more the waste of time, not too much need to make a plan. It's like 50%. Okay, determine your ultimate goals. This is a perspective that allow you to see big picture before you decide what you will do each day. You must decide what you want to achieve. And strategic plan, this is a long-term plan, a strategic plan and operational plan, this is short-term, and can be derived from the answer to the following question. What is the following question? Okay, what is your vision? What is your mission? And what is the core value? And what is the strategic plan? Another question here, why we are here? What effort are you doing to achieve? So, may answer by yourself or discuss in your group. An example, this is the global church in Lavender, Idong-won. So his church vision is here. As we obedience to the command of the evangelism and the command of love, we want to be a church changing the world and heal the nation. Okay, change the world and heal the nation. This vision is great. As a mission is here, we all saints of the church has been trained to live a lay missionary life through cell church. So this church emphasizes about the cell group. So this cell church and lay missionary. Cell church community make a pastoral ministry, this is cell ministry, to be top priority. And then training community. The training through the study of the word and the sharing of the word is an important ministry value. Okay, during the community, during the fellowship, as possible as you can, you should just share about your vision, about the personal testimony. Okay, when you have the meets, and then healing community, understand the family ministry and the work ministry as a place of the value for the ultimate ministry of the church. This is the core value of the church. And the vision community. Through the vision community, they understand the youth ministry and the young people as an important asset. At mission community, we considering that the cross-cultural mission and the missions to the domestic is priorities of the in and outward ministry. And intercessory. This is intercessory prayer group. This intercessory community, the emphasis of the intercessory prayer as tool over the accomplishments of ministry. So in this church, the more focus on is a personal spirituality. Personal spirituality. autonomous community. To understand the freedom and the responsibility of the ministry of the attitude of minister manner. And the grace community. There are many community. All ministers are not commanded by the ministry to understand and respect each other. And evangelical. The global church, the support the work of the church in the solidarity with the evangelical church in the world and support it. What is the strategic and stage over global church until 2010 already passed? This is already 2024. This is it's already the years passed. 2010 until 2010, they evangelized 30,000 church member, and then 3,000 laymen missionary, and then 300 dispatched missionary. But now 2024, 25. I don't know, but I will research once again his church what happens. And the strategic goal for the achieving the vision for the 21st century to actively train and encourage housewives to be a village shepherd. Let the brothers committed to be the leader of cell and couples. And businessmen should encourage people to manage the company based on Christian evangelization vision. Yeah, this is the global church. And then also there are the 9 regions of the importance of the core value. What is the 9? The first one is to determine the nature of the work. Yeah? Everybody should understand about what's the nature of the work. And then it ensures the individual involved and tell what important is and embrace the opportunity and affect the overall behavior, inspire people to act, and to strengthen the leadership that can be trusted and contribute to the success of the ministry. And 9, it determines the mission and the vision of the ministry. Yes. So judge the situation. What is the judge the situation? So planning for the future, based on the unrealistic the view of the present, and it will only lead to failure and disaster. One way to determine whether we are seeing things clearly is to look at them from the different different perspective. For example, is consider our eyes, and our 2 eyes allow us to perspective is a perceive depths, because each eye sees things from the different angle. When we look at our current situation from the multiple and angles rather than just one perspective, so we can make a clear judgment. Below is the list of 4 perspectives to consider when assessing your situation. What is the 4? There's a viewpoint of the evaluation. The eternal organization. Outside the organization. Outside of the organization. And the current viewpoint and future viewpoint. So this is a viewpoint or evaluation. The inside the organization, what is your attitude toward the opinion of those who work with you. Outside the organization, what is your attitude toward the opinion of those who do not know your strategy? And then current perspective, and how do you see the current situation? And then future perspective, what do you think your situation will be like in a few months or year from now? What trends are emerging? What trends are emerging? So answer about these questions. Decide priority or need. Make the right question and make correct the goals. So let's create a team goal based on important and the priority. So when you reach the necessary task in order over the priority, the result remain as opportunities. Easy task will be executed first, but necessary task often will not. We tend to solve urgent task first, so we sometimes fail to execute important task. When the ultimate mission is overlooked, we overcome the slave who are tied up in urgent task. The audience make the right question. So who are we to serve and what are we to do? And then do we have the right people to achieve our goal together? This is about the leadership. How about whose advice do we need to succeed? We need consultation. Which short-term, the medium-term, and the long-term plan are best? We need a direction. How about organization? What is our organization? Who is responsible? Who should manage? And what are we expenses and incoming? This is about the funding. And then are we making progress toward our goal? And how do we know if what we are doing is working effectively? And are we maintaining the level of performance that we hope and expected for ourselves? Reorganization. How can we improve an important area of our ministry? And 6, make a correct goal. Write it down. Put what you want to achieve on paper. So it will help you accomplish the daily task that need to be accomplished. And then realistic set the goal that you can reach. And the high goal can bring high expectation, but remember that the goals are only meaningful when they are achieved. And then personal, the goal, the motivate and inspire you. They will move you and make your heart come true. And specific, it is easy to make a grand plan, but specific goals are easier to achieve when the purpose is clearly established. And it must be measurable. See, it is important to create the measurable plan. This is because by being measurable, you can evaluate whether you are doing well. Also, believe you must be convinced that your goal is the worthwhile. Only then can you jump into. So who is the objective for us to serve? What are things we have to do? Are there right people to achieve your the objective with? Whose advice do you need? And for success, which one is fit for you? Long term, short term, and with the long term plans. Whose responsibility? Who will manage? How about budget? What are the forwarding to goal? And how do you know that the task is going on properly? What is our expecting level? How to improve in our work? Dialogue, the transparently documented conclusion, task list, timetable, support, next step in charge. Estimate the potential problem and build open system for plans. A dialogue is about sharing your vision, sharing a vision of your goal, and transparency is about clearly showing the next step to take. This does not mean telling someone specifically what to do next. Rather, it means giving people practically guidance on how to achieve their goal. Every strategic meeting should include the following. The first, documented conclusion and task list and timeline and the resource item and next step, action step, and the person in charge. And number 8, the estimate the potential problem is here. The next step is the anticipating the potential problem. If you anticipate the potential problem is in advance, you can find the way to overcome them in advance. The thinking about the worst and the case, the scenario, and how you will deal with them. If you anticipate and plan, you can avoid many common problems. If you invest the time, the plan in planning, you can save the lots of time in the execution. The virtual the execution, try to mentally perform the entire goal and the event you are planning. If you forget something, write it down. And then next step is decide on the direct action you need to take to achieve the goal. This is the most important outcomes over any meetings. Leader must have an open approach system in planning so that they can recognize external influence. Decision and the plans must be able to reflect this reality. Closed system attempt to make decision without external factors. So control and manage your resource. The review and modify and observe the result. So plan writing down the item you need to creatively handle along with your responsibility on your schedule. You can't keep a schedule going without plan. Budget, decide how much you will spend on the task when you will spend it. If possible, try to reduce unexpected expenses. Beside the people, your most valuable asset are time and money. Be specific and wise about using both. The river may seem to flow steadily, but the river is constantly changing and is not the same as it was yesterday. The same goes for organization. If you want to achieve your plan, regardlessly of how carefully you make it, you should always make a plan. But you should realize that the moment you stop adjusting or the changing your progress, the will change or go off track. Score-based evaluation is the only way to know whether you are succeeding or failing. Create a scoring at the mechanism. If you are seeking the change, you must use the information you have now. And then the last, how to evaluate. Currently, what work hold your thought on the priority, and a record of the planning process, detail for the task. Okay, this is all question then discuss with your group. Okay, this is just to follow this lesson in your church or in your groups. Okay, this is all for today. Thank you for being with us.